name is Sunny Chatum.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Paris, Texas.
So what do you do for a living?
I work on classic cars and trucks. I do interiors and I do custom embroidery.
Ooh, nice.
There's not a lot that shocks the judges of America's Got Talent 18 seasons in, and yet, that's what Sunny Chatum managed to do. From his annoyingly amusing procrastination to the unexpected reveal that it was in fact a comedy act and not a singing act, left all the judges on the panel bewildered. What was even more bewildering was the fact that Sunny Chatum was not a real person at all, and it was in fact comedian Krista Komondor who created him as one of her characters for a skit. Krista Komondor managed to pull off a very impressive feat in her audition, and that she ended up being rewarded for. There aren't many contestants who can come back from 4 no's, and yet Christa, as Sunny, managed to score a place for herself in the next round of the show, an impressive feat within itself. But enough time has passed since the audition to make us wonder about exactly who Krista Komondor is and what really happened to her and Sunny Chatum after America's Got Talent. Let's take a look.
I wanted to set myself apart from others.
You're already there.
Thank you, Howie. I would really love it if you would help me choose the song.
Though not much is known about Krista's personal life, we do know that she's a New York-based entertainer, clown, and cat mum. She's originally from Morgantown, West Virginia, and lived in Brooklyn when she started a comedy career, and her performances have been described as comedy gold with a big loving heart. One thing to note about Christa is that she got her start in comedy fairly later on in life, since she spent the majority of it working as a nurse practitioner. She did both her bachelor's and master's in nursing at West Virginia University from 1996 to 1998 and wrote a graduate thesis on a descriptive study of the informatics usage of advanced practice nurses in North America. What we do know is that in 2001, Christa was a producer and interactive project manager at Dennis Interactive. But since her interest at the time was medicine, she went on to practice as a nurse practitioner at CRNC, where she managed the acute and chronic conditions that plagued the residents in the facility. Here she worked for 2 years, from 2002 to 2004. Her medicinal career was just the beginning though, and she eventually started working as a nurse practitioner in United Healthcare, Evercare, in 2004. Here, she specifically provided primary care to older people in a nursing home setting. Her main job included working with physicians, nurses, and other faculty staff to promote the health and well-being of plan members and their families. It was in her year at Evercare that Christa started collecting data for quality improvement projects and started picking up more leadership-oriented roles. A natural progression of her career then led her to be a nurse reviewer at Gilbert Guide for 4 months in 2006. She taught facilities as a survey expert, and then reviewed the faculty for the publication in New York City. Around the same time, Christa was working as a registered nurse at City in the greater New York City area. Here she did her most profound work as a healthcare provider. Besides just providing urgent care and travel health consultations to about 10,000 corporate employees, she also played a significant role in the development of information architecture, especially for the banking subsidiary's computerized electronic medical record system. All this while, she was also taking additional courses to keep on top of her medical responsibilities, and even provided guidance to the organization when the pandemic hit. It was in 2022 though, 16 years after working with the organization, that Christa finally decided to give comedy an honest go and quit working at City. But even that couldn't be constituted as the full truth, because in 2008, Christa did dip her toes into the world of stage comedy. She wrote and directed her own play titled Mercy Machine. According to Christa, she wrote the play inspired by her experiences as a nurse practitioner in long-term care facilities. The play tells the story of an original character, Morgan Fenster, who's an idealistic nurse practitioner starting a job at a nursing home. Of course, things aren't as simple as they seem when Morgan finds herself immersed in a challenging and chaotic world. She ends up befriending Agnes Jones, who's a patient at the nursing home because she struggles to maintain her autonomy. The plot of the play begins when Agnes's condition suddenly deteriorates and she's placed on a ventilator, making Morgan feel torn between remaining true to her own ethical code and upholding Agnes's last wishes. Mercy Machine had a reading at Ensemble Studio Theatre in late 2009 and was later produced as part of an initiative to increase awareness of the need for advance directives for National Healthcare Decisions Day in 2011. Reviewers of the play have described it as being moving and touching, all while being entertaining and informative as well. Jeffrey N. Fritz, who acted in the show's premiere worldwide performance in Morgantown, West Virginia, claimed that for Krista's first time directing and writing a play, she did a brilliant job and the characters had both depth and personality. In 2015, Krista posted a video on her YouTube channel titled Becoming a Comedian Episode 1. It was in this video, which is the second on a channel titled Becoming a Comedian, that Krista spoke about how she decided to pursue comedy a year prior in 2014. She spoke of her process and how she worked towards this goal, and how she, at that point in her career, had been to 100 open mics and had a few shows under her belt. Heeding the stand-up comedy advice she received from the community, Krista was doing as many stage shows as possible. In this video, she also talked about how going through a breakup at the time made her a better comedian in a way. And throughout the course of the series, Krista showcases her journey to, as suggested by the series title, Becoming a Comedian, and she took her viewers through that journey as well. And now, years later, her channel has gone through several eras, with her many characters being featured when she was playing around with them more. Sunny, however, is one of her most prominent characters to be featured on the channel, primarily because of the fan appeal he garners. On her website, Krista lists several of her characters. She talks about Madame Komondor, who was created as a love and men's health expert and was the subject of 2 of Krista's solo shows. An old favorite is Saturday Night, who in one of her Instagram posts, Krista said, walked so Sunny Chatum could run. The red jacket-wearing charismatic man was actually born out of blood, sweat and tears in Krista's third term at École Philippe Gaulier, a drama school she attended after her nursing degree. Saturday Night is a ladies' man who has an uncanny ability to throw down Shakespearean verses casually. He's described as a cross between Johnny Cash, the Bard, and a village idiot and was crowned crowd favorite for quite a while. There's also Piano, the silent clown who plays within a dream of her own construction, a dream her audiences are very much invited to share. There's also Eve, who is more of a concept character than a fully fleshed out one. Sunny Chatum, a fan favorite, hails from Paris, Texas. He believes in hope and the beauty of the human spirit, something that lends charm to his more simple-minded behavior. His dream, according to the website, is to play his ukulele for America. He's one of her most famous characters, if not the most famous at this moment in her career, and also the character she decided to portray on America's Got Talent. Suffice to say, it wasn't your usual contestant introduction when Krista walked up to the AGT stage with a mustache and ukulele and introduced herself as Sunny Chatum, a songwriter and singer from Paris, Texas. Unbeknownst to every panelist and audience member on stage, Sunny very much was an alternate persona, one of Krista's many in her comedy career. Sunny explained to the judges, still in character, that he actually worked with custom embroidery and upholstery for classic car interiors, but became invested in his passion for singing when he saw Grace VanderWaal win a few seasons ago. He said that he saw her play, got himself a ukulele, and started writing songs. Eventually, he showed the judges a dream board with cheering crowds and an anticipatory Grammy Award. Then, in a very unlikely fashion, he started to procrastinate singing. Naturally, this confounded the judges, who had assumed he was very much the singer he claimed he was. Howie Mandel, witnessing these antics and having no patience for them, quickly pressed the dreaded X. This, however, did not deter the quote-unquote singer, who kept on procrastinating, even after being pressed to by Sophia and Heidi. His behavior, while funny, was also pretty annoying, and after trying to get him to sing for the umpteenth time, the judges gave up and Sunny got all X's. But when they were trying to usher him off stage, Krista's real plan became more and more obvious. As she removed the mustache and revealed herself to be a comedian, it was all the motivation the judging panel needed to let her advance in the competition. Turns out, her gimmick worked, but unfortunately not for long. Sunny, or Krista, was eliminated in the deliberations and was not chosen as one of the 55 acts to advance to the semi-finals, eliminating her from the competition. That said, during her time on the show, she did manage to get a standing ovation from Howie Mandel, who also compared her to renowned comedian Andy Kaufman in one of her final performances. After a time on America's Got Talent though, Krista went on to continue with her regularly scheduled comedy shows. And while she has created many alter egos for her comedy acts, she is primarily stuck with Sunny Chatum for her most recent gigs. She performed at Clown Flex on the 7th of December 2023, and then did a few shows in NYC around the same time. She's also been posting a lot of Sunny on her social media, especially clips from her gigs. Not only that, she then performed at the Metro Variety Show on January the 18th this year, then later in Little Italy on the 31st of January. She also performed at a Good Time Comedy Hour on the same day. She also posts clips from her gigs on YouTube and, most recently, 3 weeks ago, uploaded a small clip of her gig where Sunny Chatum explained the meaning behind one of his original songs, Peacock. As far as a comedy career goes, it's evident that Christa is making it work. And while it seems like a slow-going process, the exposure she got from America's Got Talent has definitely helped her seem like a comedian worth taking seriously.